Superman and Lois, episode 9, 30 days and 30 nights. And the 30-day thing was a prelude to what's about to come with Superman and Lois. So, I'm going to say right out the gate, this was a very good episode of Superman and Lois. And Superman and Lois continues to be the number one superhero show, period, that's out right now. There's, like I said, and I damn near like them all. And like I said, Superman and Lois is like continuing to be the top one. However, in this particular episode, it showcases the one problem that Superman and Lois has. And we're going to talk about some of the problems that Superman and Lois has as we go on with the review. But first, let's review Superman and Lois. It's your boy Icon with some DC TV. So this episode starts because remember, Allie was in prison, and because like Lucy had stole her daddy's card key, and this was, well, he was still knocked out, so it's not like he could have warned the DOD. So she stole his card key. They gave his card key to one of them because they had somebody working on the inside. That woman broke Allie out of prison. Her and the girl ran down to the mines, and Allie was in front of the portal. Clark had heard them in the portal, so he jumped out of bed and he flew down to the portal so he could try to stop them. But by then, Allie had already jumped into the portal, and then she said that I'm going to save the wild. The soldier that was working for Allie, who should have been arrested, she ended up, telling Superman that there's no way you can get through the portal without a hazmat suit. And then Superman was like, girl, you don't know who I am. I'm Superman, damn it. He went flying around in a circle at like super speed. And then he just basically forced his way through the portal. And we're all going to assume he came out on the other side because you can't kill Superman. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a show. When that happened, it now takes us through like a montage of what's been going on ever since Superman put himself in that portal. It's actually been 30 days. And throughout the 30 days and 30 nights. And throughout the entire 30 days, like, Clark hasn't been around. They lied and said that Clark was on assignment in Metropolis. But here's where one of the biggest problems with Superman and Lois comes in at. The biggest problem that Superman and Lois continues to do over and over and over and over and over again is the constant disrespect and dismissal of Supergirl. When Mama Kent had passed away, Supergirl was not at the funeral. And the thing that gets me, the thing that like honestly like bothers me when it comes to the omission of Supergirl on Superman and Lois is that there are easy fixes. Like because on Supergirl, for the second half of Supergirl's final season, she was trapped in the Phantom Zone for like 7 episodes. If Supergirl missed Mama Kent's funeral, all they had to say was, Kara couldn't be here because she was trapped in the Phantom Zone. In this particular episode, now that Superman's been gone for a month, they're doing news reports talking about I can understand if Metropolis was just like, oh, Metropolis is in trouble or Smallville is in trouble and the people need hope and Superman's been gone and Superman hasn't been around for 30 days and like, what are we going to do without Superman? That makes perfect sense. But the news report said that the entire world was in peril. And that's where I draw the line because if the entire world is in trouble, they're just like, oh, a boat crashed in the Pacific Northwest or there's a spaceship falling out of the sky. What are we going to do? Where's Superman? First of all, you still have a Supergirl. And not only do you have a Supergirl, you have you have a Justice League. Barry Allen in the damn Armageddon crossover went to the Hall of Justice. The Superman and Supergirl's chairs are still sitting at the table. Batwoman's chair is still there. Martian Manhunter's chair is still there. Everybody's still there. So if you're talking about a worldwide crisis, all the news reporter had to say, and this is where the writing of it, or the producers, or somebody, whoever's in charge of making these decisions, they pissing me off because like I said, you're trying too hard. All you had to say was, due to the absence of Superman, thankfully, we have Supergirl who can fill in for major disasters. We have the Flash that can come in and help whenever he can. But these superheroes, these heroes, they have their own cities to protect and they're stretched pretty thin trying to, do double duty and save the world. Where's Superman at, because Superman did his best to try to take care of everybody all over the planet. Like, yeah, I could have said something. Like, but to take the route of, now that Superman's been gone for 30 days, the world as a whole is just totally screwed. That's very disrespectful, not only to Supergirl, but it's disrespectful to every single member of the Justice League that sits at that table. Because to say that like, oh, without Superman, what will the world do? Don't act like other heroes won't come out of the woodwork to try to like save the day. I didn't like that. And then to make it worse, poor John Henry Irons, he's the only person that stepped up to actually try to save the planet. And then he was just like, oh, and that would have been a good moment to have John Henry Irons bump into other heroes. Steel's been on the scene. He's been helping out he's been helping out in Superman's absence. He's been teaming up with the Flash. He's been teaming up with Supergirl. That would have been a cool way to kind of get Steel acclimated to the other heroes. Like, he could have flown back to, to Smallville, and then Natalie could have been like, oh, Dad, I heard you saved an oil tanker. He's like, yeah, Supergirl and I teamed up on that. It was pretty cool. Or like, hey, like I saved, like I stopped a bank robbery somewhere. The Flash helped me out. Like they could have did that. And I was just like, I just don't like the fact that they're pretending that nobody else exists but Superman. Like, I understand he's Superman. He's the GOAT. Like, I completely get that he's the GOAT. But it's like, it's a world of heroes. You're on Earth Prime, damn it. You have a seat at the table. Let's stop acting like everybody else doesn't exist. So anyway, so now because of that, because John Henry Irons has been filling in, Jonathan, he's also decided to step up and become the Superboy, to take over for his dad, who's been gone for a month. Lana is today's D-Day, like today's the day for Lana. She's running for mayor, and everybody's about to, cast their ballot. So Lana needs all the townspeople to come and help. Natalie and John Henry, they show up, to help out with the whole thing. The Kent family shows up minus Clark. Jonathan got cursed out by the people at the got cursed out by the people at the voting thing, because they were just like, oh, you're the kid that ruined football season. So he ended up just like hitting the pavement and going to talk to people on foot because he didn't want to stay there with all that hostility. Jordan, he ended up overhearing across town that there was a fire. He went to go help, save the people from the fire. Now, he was there with Sarah, and because he was there with Sarah, like, he dipped on her. And then Sarah had said to him before he left, she was like, listen, she said, ever since I introduced you to my friend, that I kissed at camp, she said, you've been kind of distant from me or whatever. I just want to know if everything was okay. And I'm like, no, because you kissed the next chick. but it wasn't her that was distracting him. The problem was he was trying to be a hero, and he was going out saving the day. So he left her at the polls and just dipped to go stop the fire. And it's glad that he did do that, because when he went to the fire, Sarah's dad was a part of that fire, because Sarah's dad is a fireman, and that fire was like overly hot, and it was a big blaze, and it almost killed Sarah's father. Superboy, Jordan, he swooped in, he ended up, he cold breathed the fire, and then he saved Mr. Cushing or Cortez, and got him out of the fire. And because of the emotional response to the whole thing about him being a hero, his flight kicked in. Jordan accidentally, he emotionally got into it, and then he ended up flying for the first time. He only flew maybe like 20 feet, but he still flew, and he rescued Sarah's dad and saved him from the burning fire. Now, then after he saved him from the burning fire, that's when Steel showed up, and he was like, get out of here, kid, I got this. But, Jordan was the one that actually saved Mr. Cushing. I mean, Steel just, he just took care of the fire. So then, after that, then Jordan went to go talk to Jonathan about it, and then Jonathan was like, yo, if John Henry was there, his suit has facial recognition software and like biometrics. He said he can find out that it's you. And if I were you, I would tell Mom ASAP, because if she finds out before you get to tell her, he was just like, yo, all hell's gonna break loose. And that's exactly what happened. John Henry Irons ended up telling Lois that he was there. She went down and cursed him out, and then the two of them got into an argument, and then Jonathan finally stepped into puberty, because, when she told him, because Lois hit him with the classic, like, oh, as long as you live under my house, young man, you'll live under my rules. And then Jordan was like, not if I got superpowers, bitch. So I gotta give I mean, you ain't supposed to be disrespecting your mama like that, but I give the boy respect for finally stepping up like a man, but what he says is true. He's like, then she got mad at her dad, because she was like, you've been training my son. And then he was like, look, I was training him to control his powers. I wasn't training him to go out there and save people. He did that shit on his own. So now Lois feels like she's losing it. Then she, like I said, but her and Jonathan got Jordan, I keep calling him Jonathan, her and Jordan got into it, and then, she was just like, don't talk to me. And then he got mad and he walked away. Now, because of the whole situation with the ex-kryptonite, Lois and the General, they made one last attempt to try to break through to Jonathan to get him to reveal who the person was that was selling the ex-kryptonite. So they finally got through to him. They promised the girl immunity. He brought his girlfriend in, Candace. Lois wasn't happy when she saw that it was Candace, and then she gave Candace a hard time and gave her the 3rd degree. But Candace gave up the information, and she revealed the name of a person that she was getting the inhalers from. Lois actually knew who that person was, and then her and her dad went to investigate. They ended up bringing Jordan along with them Lois was against it at first, but her dad talked him into it. And then she even told him, she was like, listen, she was like, I'm bringing you here. Don't make me regret that shit. So Lois goes sneaking in, like the dad goes sneaking in. They immediately get captured. And then while they were tied up, the dad was trying to get himself out of the ropes. And then Lois was just like, oh, Dad, you can't get out of those ropes because those are intensifying, like tight gripping ropes. She's like, if they were the other type of ropes, we could escape from it. And she's giving like this whole speech about the difference between like ropes and like how you can tie a person up. And then he looks at her, he's like, girl, how many times you been kidnapped? So that's the Lois Lane MO. But then when they were in the operation from where all the ex-kryptonite and the inhalers are made, that's when the general was like, listen, it's time to activate, Superboy or activate Jordan. And then Lois is like, I'm not going to activate my son. But he was like, boy, we about to die. You better come up in here. And then, Jordan, he came in, he started whooping some ass. And then somebody tried to shoot him. And then that's when his speed kicked in, like his super speed, like his speed 4 speed kicked in, just like in the Justice League Snyder cut where, the Flash was running around. He was going at super speed, but Superman was able to still see him in super speed. That's what happened with, even with the Batarang thing when Batman threw the Batarang and the Flash was just looking at it. Same thing happened to Jordan because he's developing like the full-blown Kryptonian powers. It's not a Superboy situation where Superboy only has certain powers because he was half like Lex Luthor DNA. It looks like Jordan is actually going to have the full-fledged Kryptonian power. So he saved his mom and everything, and then everybody was cool. So then after that, Jonathan went to go walk his girlfriend home, and then everybody else went back, to the mayoral campaign because they were about to announce the winner of the mayoral election. To the surprise of no one, Lana won the election, and then after Lana won the election, the Kent family came in at the last minute to wish them congratulations. Jordan went to go talk to Sarah, and then Sarah was like, boy, you've been gone the whole day. She said, you've been gone the whole day. And then she asked him, she was like, what was wrong? And then he was like, I can't tell you. He literally said, I can't tell you. It's personal family stuff. And then she was like, well, I don't like coming in second. And I'm like, girl, I said it's personal family stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because she's been like all the personal stuff that's been going on with her family. She's been keeping that stuff under wraps for like a season and a half now. So the one time he's like, and then it's like, it's not like he was just like, oh, I don't want to tell you. He literally said to her, he said, I wish I could tell you. I want to tell you, but I can't. And instead of her understanding and just like keeping her mouth shut because she's nosy and she wants to know everything, she's just like, fine, Jordan. She's like, I'll give you your necklace back and it's over. Then she went to her daddy's house and went crying to her daddy. And then her daddy did a poor job of giving Jordan the benefit of the doubt because he ain't like him anyway. And, so that was that whole thing. There was this whole big thing where Sarah tried to talk to her mama about bringing her daddy back. And then she was like, no, honey, because he made his choice and I have to make mine. So like the Cushion family's falling apart. But Sarah's staying at her daddy's house. Meanwhile, Lana's somewhere popping champagne and like popping bottles because she just won the mayoral race. So then later on that night, after the celebration and everything was over, Lois was talking to Jordan on the porch. Jordan was crying because he was just like, oh, Sarah broke up with me. And she's like, well, you want to be a hero. That comes with the territory. But then while they were talking, in a very unique individual happened to show up on their front porch. Now, while Jonathan was walking his girlfriend home after she had spilled the beans and snitched on the whole ex-kryptonite operation, there was a moment where Jonathan started getting like a really bad headache. And, he was just like, I don't know what's going on. But he was just like, listen, he was like, he walked his girlfriend home, kissed her goodnight, and he was just like, yo, I'll just go deal with it. And he dipped. We find out why he had the headache because his dad early in the season had those same headaches when the Bizzaro Superman was here. And there were two of them here on the Earth at the same time. So when Lois and Jordan were on the porch, the mysterious person that walked up to the porch was Jonathan from the Bizzaro world. And then Lois immediately knew that wasn't her son. She was like, yo, that's the other Jonathan from the other world, from the Bizzaro world. And then when he came up to the front porch, Lois asked him, she was like, where's Superman? And then that's when the Bizzaro Jonathan, he was like, yo, he didn't get there in time. And then that's how the episode ended. So now we got this whole thing where people from the Bizzaro world are actually coming over here, but Superman's still over there, and we still got to find out what's going on with Superman. Natalie and John Henry Irons did this whole storyline where today was the day that their Lois Lane had died. And John Henry had kind of like tried to put it out of his mind because because the memories and everything was too painful. He forgot about, like breakfast because they made like their mom's favorite breakfast. And then Natalie cursed him out. And then, she cursed him out, whatever. She got mad at him. She blamed him for trying to flirt with Sarah's mom. And I was just like, here we go. But then in the end, he talked her down. He was just like, listen, he's like, I love your mother. I'll never forget your mother. He's like, it's just hard for me. And then she was just like, oh, you don't get to forget. And I'm just like, she's a teenager. And I need to remember that Natalie is a teenager. As mature as Natalie has been, she has moments where she does teenage dumb stuff, and I need to remember that she's a teenager and not that they're actually ruining a really good character. But like I said, but at the end of the day, he apologized. He made her mama breakfast, and then they watched old videos of I don't know how he got them videos. I guess they were saved in his suit, so he was watching old videos about the day that she was born, and then the two of them, like came together as a family. And then in the very, 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 very last scene, it shows Superman landing in the Bizzaro world, but then, that's when the credits rolled and the show was over. So that was it, and thank you for tuning in. So in the next episode, 30 Days, 30 Nights Indeed, because Superman and Lois does not return until April 26th. And just when I thought, I was like, hey, April 26th, for Superman and Lois, April 26th until Naomi comes back, I was like, hey, maybe I'll get a little break, a little break from doing these TV reviews for a while. I'll just do The Flash, and then, we can continue. Then I can, like I said, I can kind of have a break from all the editing and shooting and everything. But then, no, haha, the universe works against me because you remove 2 shows for me and you bring in a whole bunch more. Because Dr. Moon Knight for Marvel came in, so we're going to review that because it's 6 episodes. But then Young Justice popped up with like 3 episodes right out the gate. So, so the TV reviews will never die, ladies and gentlemen, and we will continue to talk about it. They did show us a commercial for when Superman and Lois comes back, and it's actually that entire episode is going to be about Superman being in the Bizzaro world, and we get to see all the different Bizzaro characters and who people are on the different Earth. And I'm telling you, either Lucy Lane or Chrissy is gonna be his brothers. Tyrell, it's gonna be that one of those 2 women is gonna be his wife, and that's gonna be hilarious as hell. Because when Tyrell finds out who his wife is on the Bizzaro world, he gonna try to kick it to her in the current world. That's gonna be very funny. So like I said, so thanks for tuning in. Share your questions, comments, and concerns. Hit me up on Twitter and Instagram. You can also hit me up on YouTube. I prefer you hit me up on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, because all the shows that I just got finished talking about, we reviewing them all, and we waiting for 30 days for Superman and Lois to come back. But we're still doing The Flash, we're doing Dr. Moon Knight for Marvel, and we're still doing The Young Justice. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So till 30 days from now, check me out for other superhero stuff. But for Superman and Lois, until next time, up and away, and I'm out this. Yeah!